need a cigar bar, and I would like to see a cigar bar, if that's the case, to conform to exactly what's on this piece of paper. And the more I look into this, I start seeing gray areas, and I'll be glad to make a list of the gray areas that I see. And that's my only concern.
Okay.
We don't need to be bringing any more things like that. There's some things that are going on at the beach that we can't stop.
Right.
And it's something that none of us, I don't think, thought about. I think that you read this on the face,
Right.
and it's an RSA, and we have to follow this.
Right.
But did we inadvertently do something that would be against any one of our judges?
I'll talk to Mark.
Do you agree with me that that could have a substantial difference in the hearing? And if it would have come out in the hearing, it potentially...
It may have.
Certainly,
yes.
I mean, certainly in and of itself, and what I tried to do with the whole issue of the hookahs and everything else is I'm not experienced with that. And I don't want to offend someone's culture or anything else, and that's how I approached it. That, you know, I looked at it more like a cigar bar. I really want to know at the end of the day, what exactly are they going to be selling in there? And then, in the meantime, before the next meeting, I plan to go and visit one of these establishments and really understand what it is. I'm all done there with that.
Okay.
I'm going to ask a question. Did they come in saying there's a hardship in that building? Did they do that under a hardship?
I think so. There's something we want to discuss.
Yes, I'd want to
Okay.
know that. What I did was, when I left there the next day, I went to a person who lived over there, for those people for 3 solid years in the service. And he says he watched the whole thing. And I'm not going to go any further, but he saw what I saw. It was no, first, well, I'm not going to go because we're going to hear it.
Maybe it's better for the discussion because I have a. It's not listed in here. So anybody, it's not listed under the regulations, the ordinances. So therefore, if there is not an area defined as we have for an adult entertainment zone, therefore they can ask to put it anywhere in the town, and they do have a hardship.
They do have a. They do. I think they do have.
It's similar to the.
And it's over by.
In order for what? This is a liquor license.
Oh, you said,
Gentlemen, yeah, gentlemen, we're going to have a motion for, we're going to do the rehearings next month. He's asked for clarification from the lawyer, and I'll take care
all I
of his
did was ask,
clarification.
Mr. O'Brien, all I asked you is like a gentleman as I'm being, is did it come under a hardship? That's all I asked.
The hardship they were going after, the way I took it, is the enumeration. In fact, I was going to...
That's all they asked for.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the board's permission. We're always put in between the, you know, at the far end, and I don't necessarily like that. I'd like to write a letter to the planning board, have you all review it and agree with it. We had the casino that wasn't enumerated. We had the nano brewery, it wasn't enumerated. We have, and these are all state statutes. We have the cigar bars now, non-enumerated. And I really feel, personally, that between the planning board and really the town planner, they should be looking at the RSAs as they're coming out
and seeing where they should go.
And saying, okay, does this impact zoning?
Mm-hmm.
And if it impacts zoning, and all of these are in the enumeration tables, that's strictly where they are. It wouldn't take but a half an hour for somebody, a board, to sit down and say, okay, this is where they're going to be allowed, and this is where they're not going to be allowed, and then
that's it. And then this is really an issue.
But they have to stay ahead of it. You know, these have been laws for 3 years or more.
There's a whole bunch. There's
a lot.
There's sections in town where you can only have certain entertainment, like you were mentioning.
It's enumerated.
And it's over in one section of town.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not too worried
No,
about it.
let's stay on the focus.
I'm not too worried about it.
Let's stay on the focus. But the thing is, if they were enumerated, it could be that, you know, casinos could only be in that area, or it could have been nano breweries only in that area. Then they would be coming before us with a different type of, what I would say, hardship. Right. To justify, in my mind, you do have a place to go.
Right.
And what I'd like to do is get the planning board ahead of us.
That would make sense.
So that we're evaluating it not from the fact that it's not been enumerated.
Telecommunications is a perfect example of that.
A perfect example.
We have a place where you can have cell towers, and it's a swath that surrounds 95. That's it.
That's another one.
All right. So no one's put them there because they don't want it there. So I mean that's
Another area that comes up only because you know, just racking my mind right now is one night we had electronic signs. That whole section needs to be organized because it's built on, you know, with they did address sandwich boards, but electronic signs have not been, you know, we had to sit down here and say no.
Blinking lights, none of that was supposed to be in town.
And all of, you know, all of that stuff should be enumerated or updated, and there may be other parts, but those are things we're being asked to look at that I don't even think we should be looking at under normal circumstances.
Well, if they brought more current to today's real world,
our job would be easier.
you would have less petitions.
Right.
Absolutely.
On the signs, I think we had two great examples of the technology, and they were right at the same time, so obviously that's, you know, things like that. That's why I had to dig into that particular sign ordinance and say, well, why, it's just like, why is adult entertainment out there? I know why, and there's a vote of the town. What are they trying to do by blinking, what does it mean? You know, we went through all that, and you're right, I think it was more, and I stated it then, it was more a technology change or whatever than against that ordinance, or what they put there was not to distract drivers. Or
I'll take a hack at it and I'll throw it in your boxes over the next month, then let you look at it. But a formal request that they establish some procedure where a lot of these are after the RSA's
I think this is voted on as it's regulated by the Liquor Commission.
Right.
It should probably be in the same area as a bar. That's why I think it got voted the way it is, because it is the ATF and the State Liquor Commission regulate this. It has a license like a bar, so it should be, I looked at it as, it should be in the area that you would have a bar, in the business seasonal area. We don't have a purview of if they're smoking hookahs or if they're smoking inside. That's a state level, that's not us. We're not allowing them to do hookahs in there. This is a state RSA that the town has not adopted yet, and this just kind of fits where it should be allowed. That's all they asked for. We didn't give them permission to smoke marijuana, sell fake marijuana, sell drug paraphernalia. We didn't give them, that was not anything that we voted on. That's out of the purview of the board. We looked at an RSA that falls into the category of a bar, and that's the way we voted. That's the way it happens.
There you go.
Well, we can look beyond it to what you're looking at, but that's not,
Let's save that discussion